Might as well be, huh?
Might as well be.
Call to order this working session, Bath County Board of Education, February 23rd, 2026, 6 p.m. Discussion of tonight's agenda.
Do you want to go ahead and add that discussion in other business
Yes.
for the 10-minute, discussion of adding time, and then we can decide in that discussion what the motion should be, I guess.
We'll be adding an item to the agenda under other business of possibly adding some time to the days to make up some lost time. Item 3, discussion of consent items.
Oh, yeah, they added, let's see if I can find the grant. We added one grant on there. Yeah, 500 for after prom.
I had a question about this MCTC Student Ready to Work. Is that a student of ours?
Kelly, is that a student of ours? I don't think it is. It didn't specify that, did it? On the MCTC, Student Ready for Work grant. It didn't specify that it was one of our students, did it?
And they're going to be working in the cafeteria? I thought that was my understanding. Okay. They pay her directly. Another item was, we had been discussing the Life Touch photos,
Yeah.
what we need to do about that.
That's what we got to decide, whether we're going to just go ahead and suspend our relationship with Life Touch, or are we going to give parents the option to opt out?
Well,
And we can do it either way. I think it gives a better, has a better look to it if we just suspend,
Do we have a contract with them?
Well, we have an agreement. That agreement, we didn't sign it. What I found out that when we accepted their bid last year, we did not sign anything. They did not have us sign anything. So it would probably be an extension of the previous agreement. I think that we can suspend always using somebody because they didn't necessarily provide all of our services, because they actually provided the services that they chose to, basically. There's some pictures they didn't take, there's some that they did. The only question gets into is, can we do another vendor? Can we hire somebody else? So that, we need to look at the agreement. If we suspended, we need to look at the agreement that was the previous year and make sure that we're not in violation of that if we was to take other pictures.
I was under the impression, and I could be wrong, because I don't know much about it, but I think the questionable person that was involved with Life Touch has been out of Life Touch for several years.
Since 2021, yes.
So the company Life Touch is no longer associated with that person. So is that the whole reason why we're suspending?
That's the reason why everybody's suspending, because Leon Black was the CEO and the Board of Directors chairperson in 2021, and then he resigned, so he's not had any you know, he was the chair over Apollo Global Management, but he's not been associated with them since 2021. He resigned from both as chair and also as CEO.
Okay.
So,
Because I know like one of our elementary schools has got pictures on March 3rd, and that's just a week away. I don't think that's gonna give them enough time. You know, we can leave it up to the schools, I don't care, but I'm just saying, I feel like there's not a threat as long, you know, he's
I
out
think
the
we
picture.
need to at least leave it up to the parents. If
Yeah.
they want their children to have their pictures, schedule, if you said scheduled March the 3rd, that close, if parents wants to have
Have
their
them do
kids'
it.
pictures taken, then they need to sign a waiver or a release or something, let them have them taken, but then if they don't want to,
Then that'll give us time to find another vendor, you think?
well, that would allow us, if we gave them the option, then we would not be in, and like, again, I've not found the agreement yet, because they did it in DocuSign. But if we allowed the parents the option to opt out, we would not be in violation of any agreement. They would still, the ones that wanted to sit could sit. And there's, you know, there's like the senior pictures, Life Touch was not contracted to do those, so that wouldn't be affected.
Okay,
But apparently our eighth grade pictures are done by Life Touch, so they had that scheduled. So I think that
I say leave it open to the parents.
maybe the safest route to go is to give the parents the option to opt out if they don't want to, if they want to have them see it. And like we've said already in discussions, we're going to bid out for photography services again. So if the board so chose to have another vendor going in the next year, then we wouldn't have, you know, wouldn't have that issue.
For
So,
this year, though, if we opt out, I mean, the parent, as a parent of a child, I want to know that there'll be another opportunity that someone is going to take those same pictures if she don't sit with this one.
And I don't know if that's something we can guarantee.
Okay. But I think when we tell the parents that they have an option, we need to also let them know there is no option B at this time. So
Correct.
your child may or may not be in the yearbook.
If you choose to
Yeah.
opt out.
Right.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Those pictures are already done, aren't they? The ones that will be in the yearbook?
Well,
They
the
were done, they
first-
were the fall pictures.
Yeah,
fall pictures.
So
what'd
Yeah.
she say?
the spring pictures are always optional anyway, so.
Yeah.
The ones we use for the yearbook usually are the fall pictures, and then somebody that may have missed fall or makeup pictures, they might use a spring one, but mostly it's optional anyway, so.
Okay.
So we're not
I'm
hurting
just saying,
nothing
we
by
just
going
need to
on.
let
No, we're-
families know.
No, we're not hurting anything going optional, and also, also making them aware that if they choose to opt out and not see it, then we're probably not gonna have another vendor to take that picture.
Right.
I think if we give them all the information, then they can make their best decision.
That's what okay.
Another thing I wanted to ask about, it says dissolve the combined boys and girls soccer booster group. So they're wanting to create their own booster groups individually, boys as a booster group and girls a booster group.
We've never had a combined one that I'm aware
I
of.
think it's the middle school one.
Oh,
Is it it's the middle school, isn't it, Kelly?
okay.
If I'm wrong, correct me. But the middle school has formed a joint or combined soccer boosters club, and they have decided they would like to dissolve that so that they would have the opportunity to then have separate ones.
Okay.
So they would have, boys soccer would have their money, girls soccer would have their money based upon the efforts of the individual groups rather than putting the money together.
And when it was created, they created it together.
I gotcha.
And I
Okay.
advised them that since the board had granted the permission to form as combined, they needed to request to dissolve so we could officially, if there was any money remaining, that money could be divided, and what was gonna be decided with it, and then you all would have to give, permission to be able to form new groups. So that's why it's there.
All right, and then I want to ask a question about the athletics uniform policy. So what does the policy state right now? Or do we even have one?
We don't have one right now.
Okay, so are we going to talk about what colors we're going to administer into this policy?
We had 4 colors.
Okay. And is everyone in agreement? I mean, are we all okay with gray, black, red, and white? Is that the 4 colors we got?
That is the 4 colors, yes.
Okay. And so when will that go in effect?
Well, it would go in effect, I guess being a policy, we probably need to have 2 readings on it to really make it official. Even though, Elena, it's a little P policy. It's not a KSBA policy. It's just an operational procedural policy for us. Would we need to do the standard 2 readings in your opinion? To be safe, I would say yes. Okay. So I think that we would, if you also approve the first reading tonight, then we would have it in the March meeting, and then it would become effective after that.
Okay, so let me ask this, and I don't know if this has happened, but if someone right now is ordering, and let's say they ordered purple, I'm just using this as an example, with black. They've ordered those today for this coming season. We should allow them to use those because we didn't have this policy in effect when they ordered them, correct?
But we have to approve them ordering them. Right.
What we have done so far is that, and our principals have been diligent to contact me, and then I've contacted you, so we've approved those. And the question has always come back, really, could they use black and could they use gray? The red and white was never an issue. Every issue was always on, can we get black, can we get gray?
Right.
So I think but I agree with you, if we approve something that was outside of that right now, then they would be allowed to wear them if we approved it because there's no policy in place.
Okay.
And then once we have a policy in place, then we should be able, and the way the policy is written is that they will inform me and I will make a determination and approval with consultation with the board.
Okay.
And,
And then let me ask one more question on that. Like, I think we have a team that has light blue uniforms right now. So if we make this policy, will they still be able to use those uniforms? Since they've owned them prior to the policy?
Any uniform going forward without special decision from the board, special approval from the board for a special occasion, wouldn't be, but since they already have them.
Okay.
They
I
can
just
use-
didn't want to pass this policy and then the big team would have to buy all brand-new uniforms.
Yeah,
That
it-
wouldn't be fair.
It won't be ex post facto.
Okay.
We won't go in retrospect before, so.
Okay.
Anything that the board has pre-approved prior to now would still be legal until they exhaust the use of them.
Gotcha.
Just going forward, that way we have the red, white, black, and gray as part of uniform policy, and that way we would have so many questions on it and have consistent, and we named Real Red as the color inside the policy.
Okay, and I was gonna say, Jonathan is not here, I don't see him. Are they coming tonight, probably?
Neither one, Jonathan
Okay.
nor David, neither one had communicated with me
But
about
they're
being
gonna
here.
send us that Pantone, and that way we'll have a color, a solid red to give out to each team.
Yes.
For those colors. That way we have the same red everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
So, question, since we already have our set color for the red, can we do that with the other 3? That way it's across the board?
Can we say that? I didn't understand
Can
what
we
you
do
said.
what?
Where we got our set color with the red?
You
Maybe.
mean like a set color with
Set color with
grays?
the gray, set color with the black, that way it's consistent across the board.
We probably should, yes.
I think that's not a problem.
No, I don't.
Well, black is black. But the gray would be
You could go
'Cause you could-
several different tones
Yeah,
of
you could
gray.
have light gray, you could have charcoal gray, I mean, do you want to, and that's
do
totally
you
up
want
to
to
you all.
get that specific? I mean, if we've got the red, black, and white down, do you want to leave the gray to where they could pick a gray?
I don't care one way or the other, I'm just trying to
Well, what I was thinking is, like, if you're thinking about pants,
alleviate
like for
problems
any
later on.
sport, and they were gonna do gray, I would rather,
They
as
do dark.
gray. But if you're doing a shirt and you just wanna use a light gray with red and white, it might look better, so then you've got 2 different grays there. So we may do the red in a Pantone, black is black, white is white, and then leave it optional for their gray.
And I'm good with that because like the way the policy states, they'll present it to me and then, or whoever superintendent is, and then they'll have consultation with the board, and we don't buy that many uniforms, so I mean, it's
Right.
not, a huge, but the biggest question the last year or so has been, can we use black, can we use gray? So if we solve that, I think that solves most of our issues.
Right.
And most of the uniform grays are pretty standard. There's not a whole lot of difference between
Well,
them.
they
so,
use the same fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think there'd be that many grays to pick from in a uniform pattern.
There generally is not unless you just went, you know, with a charcoal, like you described, Carla, a charcoal gray and a light gray to kind of offset them, you know, a little bit, so. And that probably wouldn't look bad either, so I don't,
Right.
but again, it'll come to whoever's the superintendent take to the board, get everybody's opinion, and then go forward with it. So that kind of gives us a safeguard in there.
Well, and then that way it also, when you're buying uniforms too, they're all expensive. And sometimes you can find like a local vendor that could get something that's not like Nike brand, but it would be similar, and it may not be that exact gray that Nike carries, but it's an off, you know, so that way they could actually get uniforms cheaper
Yeah.
from someone other than Nike. Or I'm just using that as an example, but I'm just saying, they may not have that same exact gray, and that would help our teams buy uniforms easier and less
Because
expensive.
sometimes, the pants are fine, but we want to change out jerseys, you know, and just buy, you know, so that gives you some options, so.
Right. Okay.
Anything else on the consent items?
Can I ask about that antenna tower lease agreement?
Sure.
Yes, you may. There's a new owner of the antenna. So we took the existing lease, the original lease, and I had Shelley and Elena both go through it and make sure that the language was right. I changed the land out with the new owner and the tenant, which is us, and all that stuff, and put together the document. They signed it. I just need you to prove it. That way we can continue to, it's a 10-year lease with the option to another 10-year lease. Which we've had since 2011, somewhere in that area, or even before, I can't remember, but it's the same lease that we just got a new landlord.
Okay. And so is the price gone up, or is it the same, or?
Well, it costs us nothing, and he's agreed that he'll pay the $50 a month he's paying the $50 a month for the lease to the landowner, and he's not charging us anything.
Okay, and what is this, where's this antenna at?
Where's the antenna at, Phil, exactly?
And what else, what
Like
does
a
it
tower,
do?
like Tower Road? Is that where it's at?
No, it's on this side. It's actually somebody bought the radio, the Christian radio station.
Oh, okay, okay.
And they lease the tower off of us, but they're paying the landowner for that lease. They're not paying it to us. We own the tower, but the landowner doesn't charge us for the land.
Okay,
So the radio station is gonna pay the lease to the landowner, and we're able to use keep our tower out there. We own the tower, but they're gonna lease it off of us and pay it.
Yeah.
Is that like an internet tower, or?
Our two-way radios for our buses in our schools.
I gotcha.
So we can communicate, it gets us to the repeater.
Like those
Gotcha.
two-way
Yep,
CB, yes.
okay.
discussion of okay. Okay,
Washington Branch.
yeah. Discussion of the Bath County Middle School bids. Those will be opened on
March
March
10th.
10th
At 2 o'clock.
at 2 o'clock.
How many, do we have any idea how many people, because I know when we were at KSBA, I talked to several vendors and they didn't know, and I told them to contact you, and have
We
you
had-
been bombarded?
I have not been bombarded. I've been contacted by one other, but everybody has been told, to contact Lynn Imaging. If they contact me or Phil, we'll send them to Bob Barnett or to David and let them, since they're a construction manager, go ahead and get the information, so it's consistent, so we don't violate bid law. I think that's, if they contact us, we'll get them in touch with the right people.
Okay. I think we'll have a good turnout.
Well,
don't
we had 32 people that were there when we did the pre-bid meeting. Now, some of them were all representatives from CMTA and Pax Walker and those groups that are already, representing us. But the majority of them were vendors, were firms going to bid, so.
Okay, good.
Or considering to bid.
Good.
Okay.
Discussion of the tentative allocations.
You want to speak on it, Ms. Brittany, or you want me to?
So the preliminary allocations, they're the March 1 allocation, and the principals will receive those by March 1 so that they can plan for the upcoming school year. But we will have another set that you all will approve in April for May 1. So really, this is just giving you an idea of what the allocations look like for next year. A lot of the SPDM allocations did go down a little due to ADA going down. So I think each school lost a couple $1,000s. The SPDM money is the money that we give to the principals. They get it approved by their SPDM council and they can use it for general supply money. Like, that's the money they use to give each teacher an X amount of dollars to go shopping for the school year. So those did decrease because we give $100 per ADA based on the current, most relevant numbers that we have. And we have gone down in ADA. And then the staffing allocations are the number of teachers given to each building, and the only location that was going to change was the high school. The rest were going to stay the same. But of course, that could change because some of these, we go by state allocations, like 24-1 in primary, so on and so forth. So some of these are right on the edge. So say we had 2 new students move in a 3rd grade or whatever, it could still change before the May allocations.
Okay. Anything else?
Snow days. Under other business. Are we gonna add that?
Well, it has been, it's been discussed that we can add 10 minutes per day, and that would increase us, we would gain 10 hours, a little over 10 hours.
Liz, come to the microphone. We've done the math today.
So there's 59 days. If we started on March the 2nd, because it takes a little bit of time, we'll have to change the calendar at Infinite Campus, takes board approval, and then the site base will have to change the bell schedules. So if we started Monday, March the 2nd, there's 59 days of school left. So if we add 15 minutes, that's 14.75 hours, which is about 2 days. If we add if we add 10 minutes for 59 days, that gives us about 9.8 hours, which is about a day and a half. So currently, we could get our hours in, but prior to today, we could get our hours in by May the 29th without changing much. But today put us 6 hours short of that requirement. The variable's all based on hours. So we need to do something to get those 6 hours back and try to stay at May the 29th if we can, because that's just a whole lot better than going into that following week of June. Either way is, I think maybe the 10 minutes we would see less and see less of an impact, because it would be 5 at the beginning, 5 at the end. Nobody's gonna notice that. But if we were to add 15 to the end of the day and not in until 3:30, that's pretty extensive on kids and teachers. And
Could we not do 10 early minutes in the morning and 5 at the end of the day?
We could. That's the thing, once you all decide if you want to do 10 or 15, Dr. Melton and I will have to sit down tomorrow. We'll have to ask some, we'll have to talk to KDE. We'll have to talk with Phil about busing. We just don't want to put, I think if we were going to do 15, it might be better to do 5 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon. And then it would, because right now we're 8:05 to 3:15, we would be 8:05 to 3:25. That wouldn't be as big of a deal on our parents, because I know 10 minutes in the morning, if you have to leave 10 minutes early, if you have to do, it really would throw off people's schedules, whereas just getting home 10 minutes later might not be as big of a deal.
We're getting ready to go into time change also.
Yes.
Yes.
Phil,
Well, that would.
what is the time in which we have every child dropped off on our buses now? 7:50? Okay, so we've got room to do it in the morning, but you do run a risk, you're gonna have more tardies. Because if you add too much time in the mornings, people don't change their schedule very well in the mornings. They have a tendency, with my experience, to see less of a burden with adding some time of the afternoon.
Well, they're already there and they can't leave, so that's why there's no burden. Getting kids to school, the drivers, is where we will fall into the tardy problem. It's gonna be the drop-offs, or kids, high school kids driving to school. Those are the parents driving their kids, the elementary ones, the kindergarten, pre-K, and high school. So,
I think if you was to go 10 minutes, want to go 10 minutes, we just exclusively add it to the end. I think if you wanted to go to 15, maybe we add 5 of the morning and 10 of the evening.
do we have any days where we're off? I haven't looked at the calendar. Between now and the end of the year, do we have any more days?
The only thing we had was President's Day and the March 9th Planning Day, and we took both of those at the January board meeting. The only thing that's left is spring break and
That's it?
Memorial Day. Spring break and Memorial Day.
You can't do either one of those.
No.
No.
Gosh. Has anybody talked to the state?
Well, there's 2 bills that are coming out of the House. But the one, I think, from Truitt is the one that we got last year. And that was the one, and he put it almost in the same language as it was last year, that if we could not finish by Friday, June 6th or whatever, and that would be the end for everybody. But up to that time, if you couldn't make your time up, you would have to take, you'd have to extend your day, you'd have to take all your spring break and all that to be able to make up your time. We're looking at right now, knock on wood, if we was not to miss any more, 10 minutes, make sure that we get back our 6 hours that we're behind, and we've got almost 3 hours to play with.
And that gets us on June 1st.
Well, that's May 20, as of right now, we're still May 29th, aren't we? With
May
10 minutes, we would
29th,
still be
yeah.
May 29th without missing anything else.
But we have a lot of snow usually in March. That's our big snow month.
Yeah.
So,
Well, here's another dilemma. I've already had some parents contact me and say, we've already got a vacation planned the first week of June, and we're going. So if we are in the month of June, our attendance is gonna be very low.
well, it's always better, always better to end in May if we possibly can. Of course, if we've got those that are going to be gone to something, we could always do EHOs.
And then they can
And they
be
would be,
excused and
because
be
it's an
counted,
education, so we
correct?
could do that.
Okay,
But it would be better if we could end in May.
yeah, I
It
agree.
always works better.
I agree. Okay, so Liz, what do you suggest? Do you suggest 5 minutes early in the morning and 10 in the evening? What's your suggestion?
I think 5 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon. I don't think we'll notice the 5 in the morning. I know that there will be some people who, there are some 8:04 drop-offs always. There's some kids that run in the office here at 8:04. We're just gonna have to put out some good communication that you're gonna be tardy at 8 o'clock instead of 8:05. I think if you said you're gonna be tardy at 7:55, I think that would be more difficult on people. So I
Yeah.
think definitely the 10 minutes in the morning would be hard.
I agree.
But
Well,
we're
we
allowed to have,
talked,
yeah.
we talked about not changing the bell system for in the morning and leaving it the way it was. Let me get his attention.
You're 8:05 to 3:15. I think adding the whole 15 to the afternoon, not dismissing buses till 3:30.
Well, that would affect people who work
Yeah.
after
Not-
school.
Yeah,
So I
I,
don't-
I think the 5 in the morning and 10 of the afternoon.
I think so too. I think that's the least, yes,
I think that would be the least disruptive
yeah.
to anyone.
And I just had this thought, I hadn't thought of it, but since we're kind of seeing a pattern with these winters, if you all would like for me to, just for next year, we could look at how it would help us go in 420 from the beginning. Let's just go the max time, try to bank what we can. That way, if we find ourselves in this situation next year, maybe we'll have a little bit more of a cushion then. Because I think what we find a lot of times is we're already on a variable calendar. So the bills that came out last year allowed districts that weren't variable calendar, that did the 170, to switch to variable midway. So they just had to get the 1,062, and we're already there. So it doesn't always help us as much as it would help a traditional calendar district.
I gotcha.
That's something I could look into for next year. They'll go ahead and extend it a little further.
Okay.
Extend the daytime? Okay. Would that affect our game schedule when we travel, or? Because, I know like when we play soccer. Yeah. Okay. I just don't want to, I just don't want to affect, it's like a triple effect, is,
It is.
you know.
It impacts everybody. And
Yeah.
you don't think 5 minutes is a big deal, but you know what 5 minutes can do to traffic in Owensville.
Yes, I do.
We'll see it.
Yeah, okay. What do you all think about it? I mean, what do you think, Dr. Melton, about 5 minutes in the morning and 10 in the evening?
I think that would work best. I think, because I have worked in districts that you added more than 15 minutes of the afternoon of the evening. And it was really unpopular. I think that if you could, we need the 15 minutes. If you decide to go 15, it would help us because it would give us more leeway. It would give us more in case we did have an hour delay, in case we did have another day that we missed, to kind of keep us in May. I think 10 minutes, people can live with 10. It's less, it seems like to be less of an inconvenience. You get more than 10, it seems like people get inconvenienced. If it's in one span, I think we could start 5 minutes earlier and have 8 o'clock as the start day and then end at 3:25, and I don't think people would overly notice too much of an inconvenience.
Okay. All right.
Now, somebody's gonna complain, of course.
Well, we're not gonna make everybody happy. That's impossible. I'm just trying to do the best. I'm trying to think about all-case scenario, about people who do drive their children and drop them off. They are on a pattern. I know there's high school kids who work right after school, and they're cutting it close even with the time clock now. And they're no longer allowed to sign out, are they, to go to work?
My understanding is that, I think they're allowed one time now to be released early, is what
One day?
I think one day.
Okay, well, that wouldn't help anybody that works.
No.
So, why is that?
I think they were having issues in the past of the early drivers, the ones that were being early released were getting in the flow of the bus traffic.
Oh, okay,
And it was creating a safety hazard
That was a
for the
problem.
buses.
okay.
So they had to make an adjustment to try to get the buses out first before we started having student traffic.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Now, that's what am I correct on that, Phil?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the reason.
okay. No more questions.
Nothing else? We're adjourned. Call to order this Bath County Board of Education regular meeting, February 23rd, 2026, 7 p.m. Discussion and possible action on tonight's agenda.
I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I have a motion by Eric, second by Carla. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take a moment of silent devotion. Thank you. Item 4, tonight's student spotlight is Crossroads Elementary.
Tonight, we are going to spotlight the hard work and dedication of our academic team. They recently competed, and we have some regional qualifiers. And we just have to point out that, you know, they did this through the weather that was going on, so they were still working. And that competition was held in the midst of all that. So we are very proud of the hard work that they have done. If I could get our coaches to please come up. Miss Hannah Boykin and Miss Haley McFarland. And then I'm going to turn it over to these hardworking, wonderful coaches. I made you guys a certificate.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Hunt. I'm gonna put it on my desk and frame it. All right. I'm not as tall as him. Okay. So we are very happy to be here again this year doing the February Spotlight for Crossroads. We are always very proud of our academic team and all the students that we have on it. I'm going to assume because of the weather we didn't have a lot show up, but I would still like to recognize these two and tell you all about our team and our members and how our district competition went. You can, yeah. So our fifth grade, we have a lot of fifth grade members this year. We'll start, we have Kinley Dennis, Abigail Hall, Piper Hiley, Shaylin Hiley, Zane House, Lucas McPherson, Colton Perry, Dallas Rowe, Lily Thomas, if she'll make her way over here, and Gunnar Thompson. So, Lil, you're going to take this. This is your certificate of achievement saying that you participated in the district. Okay, and you're going to stand over there for me, all right? For our fourth grade members, we have our returning Ryan Richardson. He is also our captain of our quick recall team. Ooh. Yay. Certified that you participated at districts. And then we have Ellie Mays and Kinley Rudd. Coaches, myself and Miss Boykin, fifth grade teachers holding down the fort at Crossroads. This is a picture of our team at the district competition held at OES this year. They did a phenomenal job. We were so happy to be hosting within the district again. Makes everybody's lives a lot easier, comfortable. We have a really good camaraderie with them as well. Just a few pictures from our day. I had to spend my day doing some scoring and things, so Miss Boykin led the charge on our quick recall coaching and things and making sure everybody was on top of it. So for composition, that was our first. They had to compete earlier in the week, and so composition, Lily placed in 5th place in the district for composition. This was her very first time doing anything like this, so we are really proud that she was able to place and get to move on to region.
In fourth place, we had Shaylin Hiley. So they were our only two people who did composition this year, and they both placed. So that's a very big accomplishment for that being their first year and our first year as coaches doing it as well. For content area testing, we also had Shaylin Hiley place second in language arts. She kind of got thrown into that the morning of because we had some folks who couldn't make it. So just again, proud of her for coming in, saying, all right, going with it and doing her best on that for us. So just very proud of them. And then we spent a very long day battling with OES, but very proud to keep it in the district and that our first place and us as runner-ups were able to be in the district. So on our quick recall team, we have Ryan, our captain. Say hi, Ryan. Stand up. Stand up. Ryan, get up. We have Shaylin Hiley, Lucas McPherson, Gunnar Thompson, Lily Thomas. Yay. Since they showed up. Colton Perry and Piper Hiley. So all of those folks will be moving on to region, so we will get to compete our first, I think we go against Bourbon Central Elementary on Saturday, and then tomorrow, myself, Lily, and Shaylin will be heading to Cane Ridge in Paris so she can do her composition. So very exciting week, very busy week. Snow kind of delayed us. We were supposed to go today, so lots of things going on there, but we were just very proud of their accomplishments, of them coming out of their shells. They're never this quiet, I promise. Maybe Lily sometimes, but we are very proud of them and lucky that they joined our team and came out of their shells and just really, Lily, this being her 5th grade year, kind of putting herself out there doing things before she gets to middle school. We're very proud of her for that. And then Ryan joined us as a 3rd grader. So this is Ryan's 2nd year on the team. He's already our captain for quick recall, so we have nothing but high hopes for him next year as well. So thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. So you competed mainly against OES, was that right? OES was the district winner, and then they were runner-up?
In our district is Bath and Fleming County, so we compete with 5 schools. 3 of them at Fleming, 2 at Bath, and both us and OES get to move on to region. So big win for everybody.
Good job, good job. Item 5, superintendent and board communications.
Board, just to kind of update you, in the last month or so of the meetings I've attended, I was at the KEDC board meeting last Wednesday, the 18th. Of course, we were all together this weekend at the Kentucky School Board Association. Upcoming meetings that I'm going to the Kentucky Association of School Administrators Winter Summit tomorrow and serving as a panelist over some issues in public education in Kentucky. Then on Wednesday, I've got a regional superintendent's meeting in Maysville of the afternoon. And then I've got Thursday, I'm going to Frankfurt talking to legislators with CASA and CAS, School Superintendent Association. Got a KEDC board meeting on Wednesday, the March 18th, and I've got the Education and Finance and Leadership Conference, March 19th and 20th, coming up next month. We're scheduled to meet with new teachers cadre on Monday, February 30th. To continue that with those, we're in the final draft stages of our Bath County Portrait of a Learner or Graduate, and KD is coming to assist us with our final committee meeting on March 16th. We have nearly completed all of our documentation that we've been collecting for our title programs monitoring, which we will have on March 17th and March 18th later the next month. So that's kind of where we're at.
Item 6, discussion and possible action approving the following items. 6A, January 20th, 26 minutes, January financial statement, claims, superintendent expenditures, superintendent January 2026 working calendar, travel, use of facility, grant, pay bills through February 28th, 2026, accept bids for the following services: occupational therapy, speech-language pathology, physical therapy, orientation and mobility therapy, diesel, gas, fire alarm services, fire extinguisher services, elevator service, propane, student and team pictures, school signage, alarm monitoring services, pest control services, security surveillance systems, cafeteria hood range cleaning services, concessions, and sanitation services for the 26-27 school year. Antenna tower lease agreement, athletics uniform policy, MCTC student ready to work, dissolve the combined boys and girls soccer booster group, creation of booster groups for boys and girls soccer teams, individual accounts, review of all monthly financial reports of all funds.
6A through 6P.
Second.
I have a motion by Carla, a second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any public comments? Item 8, discussion and possible action on Bath County Middle School bids for the Bath County Middle School BG 25-084.
I'll make that motion to allow Dr. Melton, Superintendent, to accept the bids for the Bath County Middle School renovation project, BG number 25084, and report back to the board with the accepted bids.
Second.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action to approve the tentative March 1st, 2026 staffing allocations.
I'll make that motion to approve the tentative March 1st, 2026 staffing allocations.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, discussion and possible action to approve the tentative March 1, 2026 SBDM allocations.
I'll make the motion to approve the tentative March 1st, 2026 SBDM allocations.
Second.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Can we?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Before you do the next one,
Yes, yes. We have an item, other business on the agenda that we would like to do now. I think I would like to make a motion that we accept the 15-minute time change of the day, with 5 minutes being in the morning and 10 minutes added to the afternoon.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Barbara, second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to go into executive session pursue.
Can we probably need to add that that's going to go in effect on March 2nd.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to amend my motion to add that that the 15-minute time change will go into effect March the 2nd.
I'll make the motion to approve that we start the 10 minutes after school and 5 minutes earlier in the morning on March the 2nd.
I second that.
Second.
So I have a motion by Carla, second by Barbara. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to go in executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810-1F personnel at,
I'll make that motion to go into executive session pursuit KRS 61.810 personnel at 7:16.
7:16.
Second.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to come out of executive session with no action taken. Have a motion by Barbara, second by Eric. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. We're adjourned.